past year, these furry friends have been your favorite coworker and companion. But since they've helped so many of us cope with our pandemic anxiety, we went to find out how we can help them cope with theirs.
That's a good boy, Vic.
13-year-old Vic is mostly deaf and blind.
I just get it really tight, like that.
But he has an owner who takes care of him like he's one of her own.
Smart, he gets the paper, he's a great little character.
Ferris Robinson says they've been attached at the hip, especially early in the pandemic.
When we started working from home, my husband works from home too, and he had somebody all the time.
But that's made this past few months harder.
Yeah, this is mild.
As they spend more time outside the house.
He has an extreme separation anxiety. We ordered the Thunder Chart during the pandemic, I'll just say that.
Veterinarian Chris Keller
You should put a smile on your face, handsome.
says he's seen more separation anxiety as people return to work.
Give them what they need and what they want, and then all of a sudden you can't do that anymore.
And the anxiety can manifest in many ways.
Dogs that have a lot of anxiety issues, when they lick and scratch and chew.
That's why he says to make the most of your time with your pets.
Instead of just coming home from work and being pooped and, falling asleep in the sofa, do something more actively that engages the dog.
And try to ease them into these changes.
Potential to just go running out the door and making a big deal out, like, I don't see you, bye-bye, and then you heighten their level of anxiety.
And in the end,
it's important that you start to think like the dog's thinking.
It's about putting yourself in their shoes.
Oh, now he's scared because he doesn't like being on camera.
For News Channel 9, I'm Eric Benninghoff.
Dr. Keller says dogs and birds are specifically affected by separation anxiety, especially those living in single pet households. He says certain products like pheromone treatments can help pets with more severe cases.
The family is doing okay at the moment, but they did tell me they are quite shooken up still from this tree falling. Now, the residents I spoke to say it happened right here on Byron Street in Dalton. Now, I'm going to step out of the way just so you can get a little look. Their workers are still chipping away at a few things. They cleaned up a lot of this tree, in the past few hours, but they had been working all night. So residents I spoke to say a tree across the street was struck by lightning, and that's when it toppled onto the house. I spoke to a few of the tenants who were inside the home when that tree came crashing, and they say all they could think about was the children.
I ran to the living room, like I said, to go get my little one. That was my first reaction. We ran to our kitchen. We got all the kids and we ran to the kitchen just to make sure everybody was okay and we were all together.
We were all just laying down minding our business, and then we just feel like a loud crash. And everybody was mostly in the living room when it happened, so it basically looked like it was gonna fall right on us.
Now, Lucy Gonzalez says they haven't experienced a storm like this in quite some time, but she was glad they were prepared for the worst when the power went out.
Christy, it's been a long journey for this family, but if there's one thing that they want to remember going forward, it's that they're so close to the end.
With him being missing, keeping his face up there was the most important part.
7 years.
It was tearing my mom up, so I was constantly thinking about it from day one.
That's how long Joshua Wright has been looking for his brother, Noah Davis.
It can wear on my thoughts mentally and physically for sure.
He created this Facebook page, passed out flyers, made t-shirts and billboards, and even had a few celebrities make videos, including Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle.
Noah Brandon Davis has been missing since July 28th, 2014.
It just seemed like everything he tried to do was just like dragging himself across sandpaper.
His friend Jason Butts supported him.
I still feel like I did very little in it all.
But he was there for emotional support when the Catoosa County Sheriff's Office informed Wright that they had found his brother's remains.
I broke into tears, of course, for quite a bit of time.
It's what Wright hopes will give him and his family closure.
It is ending, it's not ended.
Even worse was losing his mother back in 2016.
You think I'll find him or find out where he's at before I'm gone and all that? Yeah, Mom, we will. Yeah, Mom, we will. And she didn't, so yeah, it was hard.
After her passing, Wright felt like giving up the search for his brother, but something else inspired him to continue.
I was happy that I had my dad with me.
His daughter, Kaylee.
She's observing everything I'm doing, and she's seeing how important family is through me.
And when he's down, she's there for him.
We usually just hang out and watch wrestling together, and that usually makes him happy.
Wright is motivated to keep going as the search for answers continues.
The closure part is in this chapter.
The name of the Facebook page Wright runs used to be Where is Noah Davis? Now it's what happened to Noah Davis for the next chapter in this story.
More and more families in Chattanooga are making the switch from sending their kids to school to teaching them right at home. Elizabeth Langs tutors homeschooled kids, and she's noticed the increase.
Last year, so many families needed support that they reached out. A lot of them were trying to work from home while also doing virtual school or homeschooling for the first time and just needed someone else to come in and kind of manage all of that.
But what started last year isn't showing any signs of stopping. The Chattanooga Homeschool Association puts together events like sports and dances for homeschooled kids. Their members are increasing too.
If our Facebook group is any indication, we've grown from just over 1,000 to 2.5K in the past year, I would say. And we're constantly adding families as well.
Cassie Stone's daughter was enrolled in kindergarten, but due to COVID cases rising again, she decided she's going to homeschool her instead this year.
I just started getting extremely nervous about putting her in public schools. And then also, I know there's a teacher shortage as well.
And it isn't only just for her daughter.
So I thought I could, help teachers out because I know they're afraid to be back in the classroom as well. So I thought, why not just take matters into my own hands and not only keep my child safe, but also be able to, for teachers who don't feel safe coming in, give them that ability.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, in Tennessee, there was almost an 8% increase in kids being homeschooled from the 2019-2020 school year to the 2020-2021 school year.